Hi, I'm Anna, and today I'm going to tell you the 5 things I feel you need to know about the Baby Elegance Venti 2-in-1 travel system. So the first thing is that it seems very comfortable for baby to use. There are inserts provided for newborns, so they're very protected when they're using it at a very young age. And the seat is nice and deep for when you're putting your baby in there and sort of trying to balance them while you do the straps. There's no danger of baby falling out there. With some sort of buggies you find that they're quite slender seats and that your baby might fall forward. I think with the Diono Quantum, when I was testing that, I found that it was a bit precarious for baby, but certainly with the Baby Elegance Venti there are no such troubles. Also, the 2-in-1 part of the name refers to the fact that it can be used as a pushchair, buggy, upright seat, but it also reclines into a carry cot position with the clasp at the back. It's a very smooth transition from one to the other. I'll just show you now. There's a clasp at the back here, and you just simply fold it out like that, and then the buggy goes into carry cot flat mode, you can see there. And then very easily just pull the clasp up again to get it back into pushchair mode. That's very smooth, and my baby always seemed to be very, very comfortable indeed. When I put it down, he would smile and then he'd quite swiftly go to sleep, so he was obviously very comfortable in the buggy. So that's the first thing, it's comfortable for baby. Secondly, it's very compact. We live near the centre of London, so I'm forever out and about on public transport around the town. And I found it very compact indeed on buses and trains. This rather handy feature of the handle, you just press these studs to flick it down and out the way so that it's not jutting out into aisleways and supermarkets and cafes, things like that. It's also a very handy feature for when you're trying to get baby in and out of the buggy. The handle doesn't get in the way, you just drop it down. So I like that very much. It's also quite low, the buggy, in terms of getting it past poles and things on buses. Sometimes I find buggies would catch if they're wider and taller, but the wheels are quite low and the buggy itself isn't too cumbersome, it's nice and narrow. A real plus for me when I'm using public transport. So the third thing is, although I think some aspects of the design are absolutely excellent, the handlebar I've just mentioned, and the fact that the brake is actually inbuilt, the brake lever is inbuilt into the handlebar, you can see here. So you can see at all times whether it's engaged or not, so up for not engaged and down for engaged. I really liked that. But the brake didn't feel as robust as I would have liked. Sometimes when I lift the lever up, it doesn't fully release and still catches on the wheels, so I feel like maybe over time it won't stand the test of time, but we shall see. It's absolutely fine at the moment. But as I say, I'd like it to feel a bit more robust. And also the fabric's a little on the flimsy side, I felt. So there is a foot apron provided, but I felt in the winter months baby needed more insulation, so blankets, foot muffs, that kind of thing. It wasn't quite thick enough for that. And the wheels are on the thin side, so as I've said, I think this is an absolutely excellent buggy for about town. But when I went on a recent trip to the countryside, the sort of undulating pavements there and the bumpy pavements, it was quite hard work. From time to time I'd have to sort of lift the buggy here and reverse it there to negotiate the bumpy, slightly hilly pavements. But round about town it's absolutely excellent, but I just think the wheels could be a bit more robust. You can see from a picture I've included in this review what the wheels look like. I think it would be hard to see on camera here. But yes, wheels are slightly thin, fabric's slightly thin, and the brake I feel could be more robust. But those aren't deal breakers to me, they're just things I've noticed that I would like to be just a bit stronger if given the choice. Okay, so those are the first 3 things. The fourth thing is that quite a lot of buggies boast that, oh, you only need one hand to do this and that and the other, because obviously quite a lot of the time you're carrying your baby. Quite frustratingly, although I love the feature of the press studs that swing the handle up and down, you need 2 hands to operate that. So my toddler, quite often, as a joke, he thinks it's funny, will put the handlebar down. Sorry, flick it up once I put it down. And so I'll come to put my baby Edward in the buggy, and actually I can't reach around because the bar's in the way because Alex has put it up. So that's just a slight niggling factor. Also the bumper bar, there's a red button that you have to press and then you pull the bumper bar out, which you can do one-handed, but it's just a little bit more labour intensive than I would like. And when you're carrying your baby and trying to do that at the same time, it can be a bit complicated. It's not impossible, but yeah, ideally you need two hands to do the bumper bar too. So my final thing was, I loved the way this collapsed, and I'm going to try and show you now how to do that. So when I first had my first child, we had a Bugaboo bee, and if I'm really honest, don't tell anyone, but I never really knew how to collapse it. I always found it really faffy. This, on the other hand, is so easy. There is, if I angle the camera down, hopefully you can see the underneath here, there's like a little foot pedal. All you do is put your foot on the pedal, flick it to one side, and then at the same time, press on the handlebar, and it collapses. So flick to one side, and collapse. It's not doing it fully because I've got things in the basket at the moment, but you see in principle that's all you have to do. Flick to the side, gentle pressure on the bar, and then Bob is your uncle. So, all in all, this is $349, the buggy, and for $449 you can also get a car seat that's compatible with the buggy, which I liked, but I found the angle of it was slightly too reclining once Eddie was no longer a newborn. So that would be my only criticism of the car seat. But yeah, you can just pop the buggy on the car seat if baby's fallen asleep in it and you don't want to disrupt them, which is great. So $449 for the car seat as well, $349 without it. All in all, I would definitely recommend this for town and city users. I would say if you're more of an off-road user, probably not the best buggy because of the thin wheels that I mentioned before. But all in all, for my town and city use, I would definitely give it 4 out of 5 stars, and by and large I've been very pleased with it indeed. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you found it helpful.